So tell me a bit, how have the last 12 to 18 months been like for you?
It has been obviously, everyone knows obviously it's been a very unusual time, but for us, we've actually taken that as a kind of a momentum journey for us. We've been expanding in our regions. We opened up Asia about 18 months ago. It's been going great. LATAM, where we have a strong presence, particularly in Mexico, has been a great expansion market for us. So we've been doing very well in those regions. And a lot of it's been driven by partnerships. We announced a partnership with Fiserv about 2 months ago. Bukalapak, which is a large e-commerce retailer in Indonesia, is another partner of ours that we announced. So those things are going extremely well. We've got a few more in the docket that we'll be bringing on in the next probably 6 months. So it's been going fast and strong, I guess I'll say, for the last 12 months.
Yeah, I can imagine, and globally expanding during a pandemic, that must be pretty exciting.
Yeah, doing it all virtually for the most part from a headquarters point of view, but we have people on the ground in all those regions. So yeah, we found a different way to do business, but we're in the business of virtual transactions. Vesta's been around for 26 years, providing a chargeback guarantee to merchants like AT&T or remittance companies like Western Union. So we're no stranger to doing things from afar and figuring out how to get it done the right way.
And what would you say the main focus for the company is right now?
Definitely e-commerce expansion. So obviously e-commerce over COVID has risen quite dramatically. Fraud actually as a percentage of e-commerce transactions is also rising even faster. Fraudsters seem to be finding new and unusual ways to look like good customers. So we've been busy at fighting fraud. We've also been busy at expanding our e-commerce business in all phases. So we don't really care if you're selling digital goods, physical goods. We can protect it all. That's what we're really good at. Is we really want to be focused on finding good customers and eliminating fraud. So we have a chargeback guarantee where we take all the fraud risk, but that doesn't necessarily have to come at the expense of approvals. So we're really focused on how do we drive approvals up for our merchants.
All right, okay, cool. And is there a challenge the company is facing at the moment?
Well, with all the new fraud, vectors that are coming out and fraudsters are getting better at looking more like real human beings, and that was part of the issue. It's easy to spot a bot, less difficult to spot a person, but that doesn't scale. So they're getting better at that. So fighting new fraud vectors is a challenge. And then as we start to expand the types of transactions we're protecting. So we've been very card not present, credit card, debit card, ACH protection. We're starting to now look at buyer not present as a category where it could be a wallet, it could be pay by voice. So there's a lot of new ways to pay. So we're starting to expand what does risk look like in all those areas.
And would that transcend as well to the industry as a whole? What issue is the industry facing, you think?
Well, how do you do that in a way that doesn't impact the customer experience? As all these things come in, does that slow down the buyer experience? I mean, everybody wants to go faster. So we're trying to figure out, what does that look like from a fraud point of view? How do we protect merchants, approve more transactions, and create a great customer experience? So I'd say that's the biggest challenges that we're all facing and our competitors alike is how do you do fraud in a way that doesn't impact customers negatively.
And is there a way you think that should be tackled?
We've taken a very strong kind of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised approach, and so our ability to look at a massive amount of data is kind of exponential now. So 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it was mostly rules based. Now it's a combination of kind of rules and a much more machine learning. So taking that and adding more rich data into the process can help us fight new vectors. So we can evaluate up to 400 different pieces of data in a transaction, which seems like a lot, but we can do it under a second. Wow. So finding out what data is going to be important in the future and how we apply it is really the best way to tackle it.
Wow. And are there any technical advances that are on your radar that we should be talking about?
Technical advances, I think for us, what we're really excited about is the buyer not present. So as we've expanded to Asia, credit card penetration in some of the countries is low, but e-commerce adoption is extremely high. That doesn't mean the fraud doesn't exist. It's just a different type of fraud, and consumers have less protection from a chargeback mechanism point of view, and we're conscious of that. So how do we figure out a way to protect those consumers and the merchants and the wallet providers and people like that? So if you think about digital wallet expansion, that's a huge opportunity for consumers to do all kinds of applications out of a single app, but it also comes at a risk if you're putting more into a single solution. Things like account takeover, account origination fraud, all that become a much bigger issue.
Very interesting, and well, obviously great to be back physical and,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and face to face. What are you hoping to take away from your time here at Money 2020?
Yeah, I'd say there's a few things. One is just connecting with customers that we haven't seen for a long time, partners that we've just started relationships with, and then finding new partners that really need our service, that are on their own journey, and we can help. So that's one thing. The other one is just to see what everybody else is doing from a technology point of view, not necessarily competitively, but adjacent industry, whether the payment side of the business. Crypto has become a big kind of topic, and how do we apply crypto as a payment device in a world where crypto is anonymous and secure.
Yeah.
So what does that actually mean for us as a fraud player is something that we're looking at. And then there's other vectors of insurance fraud and other things that are part of this show that we've been dabbling in, but this will give us an opportunity to step further into that.
Very cool. Thank you so much for
Well,
joining us.
thank you very
and
much. I
enjoy the rest
appreciate
of
it.
the show.
Thank you.